It's time to embrace it. The Community Podcast, exploring the intricacies of personal growth, mental health, and resilience in the face of life's challenges. Topics tailored for a global audience. Now, let's talk about it with your host, Bracy Goodwin.
Good afternoon, good evening to you all. Thank you. Thank you all for once again supporting and joining into the Embrace It Community Podcast. I want to say hello to everyone tonight. Thank you all for joining in on this hot Sunday afternoon. I don't know where you are here today, but it's hot in Dallas, Texas. It's been hot all week long. We've been seeing hundreds, and I've heard even over in other places too. It's been hot everywhere. So thank y'all for joining in. Listen, I want to welcome you all to the Embrace It Community Podcast. I hope you are joining in and watching us on YouTube, also on Instagram. I think I'm streaming live tonight just on the Embrace It Community Podcast page, my page here. I'm streaming also, but on YouTube. If you have not decided to follow yet on YouTube, I need you to go ahead and follow on that page. But thank y'all so much for joining in. Of course, you know I love you all for joining and supporting. It has been a tremendous good time in the Embrace It Community Podcast. It's been going good. It's been tremendous support to the community. People are getting healed, delivered. Their minds are changing. I've been meeting some good people. My friend is coming on tonight. Dr. James he's in the studio waiting to come on with me tonight because we got some good topics that we're going to talk about this evening. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to come in because what I like to do when I start the show is always, since I'm an advocate for suicide prevention, but I like to talk about that stuff. But also, I just want to mention to my friends and my family, my loved ones that are watching all the way in the East Coast of New York City and then in Dominican Republic, my Novia, she's over there watching. So thank you so much for all the support that I've been giving. So getting right into it, this thing here, I talk about suicide prevention. I talk about it because it's still happening every day. I am a volunteer chaplain with the Midlothian Police Department, and on Father's Day, got what's called a call out for the chaplains to come out to a suicide. So it's happening, and I want to make sure that the people in the community everything is going well. James said can't hear me right now. James, I'm gonna bring you on in a minute. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me in a second here. Check your volume and make sure you can hear me before I bring you on stage. And I can bring you on the stage now and then make sure that you can hear me good. But James, we'll check that in a minute, brother. Hopefully that you can hear me. Let's see, everybody that's listening in so far, hopefully you can hear me. If you are, go to chat, let me know that you can hear this well, because sometimes we have some technical problems that we don't know about. So I'm checking, making sure the feedback is good. Let me go on live and make sure that it's good. Yeah, I can hear it live on Facebook there, so it's good. We'll find out what's going on, James, with your phone in a minute, man. I'll check with you. Thanks for the quick note. But yeah, like I said, I am the advocate for suicide prevention, and I like to make mention of that because you never know. You never know, right? So lock this number in your phone, suicide prevention 988. It's a crisis hotline, and that is for everyone to know. Thank you, Andrea, for letting me know that you can hear me. So like I said, everyone lock that number in, and it doesn't have to be for you. It could be for someone that you might know. It's available in English and Spanish, 24 hours a day, 65 days, 365 days out of the year. All right. And it's toll free. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be in Dominican Republic. You can be in any other country. You can be in Jamaica, whatever. Just dial that 988. I'm sure it will connect over there too. Right. So I wanted to make sure you mentioned that. But thank you. Thank you for that. Also, the QR code that's up there in the corner. That's how you support the Embrace It Community Podcast. Buy me a coffee. All right, we talk about that all the time. buymeacoffee.com/Embrace It Community. You can also email us too. We have an email address, so I do check periodically, making sure I'm not getting any emails in there today. But yeah, thank you all for the support. I want to thank you all for the support. I'm going to leave this ticker going on the 988 suicide prevention because we never know. Veterans also use that number, so I use that there as well. So thank you again for all your help. Thank you for those that are joining in. Listen, this is not going to be a boring show. This is going to be a topic. There's two topics that I'm talking about tonight, just two of them. And this is a place where everybody can come in and have a conversation about it, so feel free to join in. You know, God is calling us to do things in the community, and that's what I've been doing. So the show has two parts tonight, and honestly, they do belong together. The first half we're going to go and talk about, man, tonight is the two young men and the two sons that went out with their friends and never came back home. All right. One of them went to a place called Horn Island off the coast of Mississippi. And then the other one right here in North Dallas, Texas, Lake Lewisville, Texas, right up Lewisville Lake. That's what it was. So two families waiting on answers. So we're not going to give you a short, honest recap of where both cases stand right now. So I'm just going to give you, I am going to give you a short recap. I'm not going to stay on this topic too long, but I want to touch on it. So this is not rumors. This is not speculation. This is what we know. And then, you know, the second half, I want to shift because when the world feels heavy like this, the answer is not to shut down, it's to pour out. So I'm going to share two personal stories about giving back. Young lady named Angelique, I got a chance to meet up at the VA office. And then there was a mother in Columbus, Ohio, when I was a bus operator there one morning. So I want to do that as well. So let's start. First, let me do this and get my good friend on here and make sure that his mic is working for him. All right, he's been on here before. He's Dr. James Turknick. He's right here in the Dallas, Texas area. Let's go ahead and bring him on. Hopefully you can hear me. So how you doing? I can't hear you. Can't hear me either. Check your mic. Make sure it's not muted. Let's see what's going on. I know I had you on my show before, but check it out. See, keep trying it. If you can't get it to work, jump out and come back in. Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me at all? Are you on your laptop or are you on your phone? He can't hear me at all, so it must be his connection. You might have to jump out and come back in and see if we can get that to go. And Andrell, if you watching, shoot him a text. Let's see, his mic is muted. I see it's muted. Yeah. Can you hear me, sir? I don't have it muted. I got it unmuted. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I think I saw your mic was muted. Can you hear me? Jump out, come back in if you can hear me. No worries. Can't hear you. I can't hear you. Go out, come back in. Let's see if we can get them to do that. Yeah, we'll see that. Andrell, if you watch it, go ahead, shoot him a text and let him know. Or call him on his phone and let him know. We'll get him back in here. Can't hear you, man. I can't hear you. Oh my God, I can't hear you. I don't know what's wrong, but you can hear me though, right? Anybody know sign language? You can hear me. Right. Okay, cool. You can hear me. So go out and come back in. Try that. Go out and come back in. Log all the way out and try to come back in. I'll wait for you because I got some things I like to talk about before we do this. So let me see if I can get him to come back in here shortly. So yeah. So like I said, there is a lot of things going on in the community. So what I'm gonna do is come back to that part that I wanted to talk to him about first, and maybe we'll come back to that if I can get him to come back in and see if he can hear me or not. Then we'll talk about that part. But it's some stuff that's been going on with people going in and out to the lakes and things like that. Let's see, I just saw him jump back in, going out on trips, period. Let's see. Yeah, even I jumped off there. It must be the Wi-Fi or something like that. Can y'all still see me and hear me? Yeah, it looks like it was freezing up. Man, let me see what's going on here with this live feed. It might be just the internet itself giving us problems tonight. Jump in the chat. Let me see what people are saying in the chat. We can hear you. He's going to reconnect. Cool. All right, cool. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. Yeah, because it looks like it's frozen online. Let me go ahead and refresh my page here. Okay. Looks like that's going to. So I'll try to get him to come back in. But let me go ahead to the second part that I want to talk about. It's about giving. Okay. I met a young lady. Her name is Angelique. Angelique worked over at the VA hospital. And so she, okay, he's back. So, okay, you back? You can hear me now? Uh-oh, hold on. Let me go. Let me see if I got him. How you doing? Can you hear me, man?
I can hear you, man.
Oh, man, technical difficulties. But, man, listen, I'm glad to have you, man, in the studio, man. Let me go ahead and give you that love, that hand clap, man. Dr. James, man, listen, it's good to see you. I was just talking about the things that's going on, and we were talking earlier off the show about what's been going on in the community. And then I made mention about the two families. We got one over in Mississippi, right in the coast of Mississippi, right on the lake, and then the other one's in North Texas. I think up there in Louisville was the area. I think that's what it was.
Right.
So, okay, so Mississippi, right? Nolan Wells, 18-year-old from Ocean Springs, was wide receiver at the Southwest Mississippi Community College. His coach called him, this guy who was really loved by everybody. They called him a son, a friend in the family. So the night before, these are facts. Like I said, this is not rumors of being heard anything. So the night before, he cooked for his mom. His mom said, because she had a long day at work, and that's who that young man was. So on the 4th of July, Nolan went out by boat with a group of his friends to Horn Island, and remote island and barriers and all of that stuff, and some 10 miles off of Mississippi coast.
Wow.
And there was no staff, nobody. So the communications out there was kind of scarce, I guess, believing on that island. And it was supposed to be a one last, hurrah before everybody went back to school. So his friends came back, but Nolan didn't. So here's where things stand up tonight. Nolan was last seen on the island the afternoon of July 4th. His friends say he chose to stay behind, planning to catch a ride back with another group of people. His family reported him missing that night because he didn't come back. But then his body was found 2 days later, July 6th.
Okay.
What we got going on here, man? We've been talking about this, and like I said, this in Louisville. We were talking about something, man.
Yes, definitely.
What's your input on this?
This right now, first I have to say, and we were talking about some good things, but I like to say to any parents, you got to be very careful now and very prayerful where you allow your children to go, because this is a new time and a new season, a new day. And the adversary, remember his job, John 10:10, to kill, steal, and destroy.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people, as you're saying, are getting upset, jealous, a lot of different defiant spirits that are on people. Okay? And so they can't just go with everybody. And I mentioned to you years ago, some guys on this contract I worked with, one is a manager, and he said they like to go fishing. He said, we took some guys out, and this one guy wanted to stay, and we told him to come on. If you don't know the way back, you could be lost. Immediately, I smell red flags. Something told me not to go.
Wow. Wait, what was that told you?
Spirit. I would say spirit, but something said not to go because that discernment said this is red flags. If you should get in a altercation with these guys, because they know each other, right? I'm the new
Right.
guy on the block.
Right.
Something goes wrong. If they decide they want to leave me in that spot, I'm in a bad situation. You see what I'm
And
saying?
nobody don't know where you are, where to find you.
Nobody will know where to find me if I found. And so this happened. We're talking about something that happened recently, but how many people that have not been found ever that this has
Yeah.
happened to?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is a bad situation.
It's
And
bad.
it appears this was a setup to destroy this young man's life who was really successful. And we have to understand, as you see in our country right now, we have division going on amongst the people.
Trying to, cause some division.
And I'm not speaking division. I'm praying even for our president.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
We have to, the Bible says, we have to bring people together. And so right at this point in time, we need to say to young men, middle-aged, older, all
of us.
Careful
right.
where you go these days and who you go with.
Yeah.
Because it will determine if you will come back.
Right. Remember,
alive.
Remember this right here. Remember I brought this to your attention.
Yes.
I said this right here.
Yes.
Okay. And listen, man. Listen, I want people to really take this in, this little note.
This is powerful right here.
Read that, brother. Read that.
Your soul knows who carries truth.
Yes, sir.
And who carries hidden intentions. When something feels consistently out of alignment, don't ignore it. That's the wisdom of discernment. And you know what? We have to pray for discernment. We often talk about, they always talking about their prophets now. But one thing in my reading about prophets I found out is a prophet, the only one gift a prophet has to have is the gift of discernment.
That's it. Yeah.
The gift of ain't that something?
Yeah, man.
They have to be able to discern. Why? Because you have to be like a police officer in this season. Why? Because in 30 seconds you could be life or death.
That's right. That's right. You have to stop and think before doing things, going places. If something is telling you, like I said, that gift of discernment that we all have, then some people have something told me not to go, told me to see. That's that spirit person that you have in you that's speaking so clearly. And it doesn't just happen in cases like this, bad. It tells you relationships and
that's right. Yes.
And, where you going tonight and where you should be going and who you seeing, who you inviting over and all of that stuff. And I'm telling you, man, as a true believer, man, I've learned the hard way, but I've learned to listen because I didn't listen before. And I'm gonna share my story. You talk about yours with your guys. I was in junior high school growing up in Queens. The school, the junior high school I went to was in Howard Beach, this area that was at that time in the mid 70s was still segregated. The Italians on Howard Beach, and then we were in South Ozone Park. So when we left the junior high school, I noticed, all the African Americans, we walked home this certain road, which was the safe road, which was on the main road. And we all got to the bus stop and the bus was pulling up as we got there. But this one day, who I thought was my friend, and I called him Red. I can't remember what his name was, but I know he Red because they had red hair and red freckles. And he said, "Hey man, walk with me. I can get you to the bus stop faster." And I said, "Okay, then think about it." So I'm walking with him, but we are walking down this block, and I'm noticing my peripherals, noticing these other young men coming out the house, and they're knocking on each other's door. "Yo, man, come on!" And these were all white fellas. They were coming. And I'm noticing the crowd is getting bigger to two. It was just me and him. Now there's 4 following, there's 5, and they still knocking on the doors and everything like that. And I looked at my friend, who I thought was my friend. I'll just say I looked at Red, because that ain't a friend. I looked at Red, and I said to him, "Hey man, come on, let's run to the bus stop." He turned to me, man, just clear as day, say, "They ain't after me, they after you." And I said, okay, took off running. That sprint got up in me, made it to the bus stop safely, got on the bus. But when I got to school the very next day, bruh, I clocked them right in his jaw. How? So now the teacher, of course, is like, oh my God, oh my God. They called my mother. She came up to the school. My mom said, what happened? And I told her, I said, Mom, this young man right here, took me the wrong way. He almost got me jumped and he knew he's about to get him done. And she said, good, you should have hit him again. And told them people at the school, don't be calling me up here for no foolishness. My son, But man, see that part?
Yes.
To me was like I was befriended.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't taught racism.
Right. And there is a lot of racism, and we have to be very careful.
Yeah.
We have to be very careful because, see, we prospered more when we were desegregated.
True. That's
but
true.
The adversary said, in 1950s and 60s, there were more black families married than there were white families. And I'm not a racist at no point.
Me either. Yeah.
We're not talking about racism. So they put together a plan, and I like how one of the doctors said, they put together a plan. We have to get rid of Dr. MLK, Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Because these people believe in marrying. Even in slavery, they jumped the broom.
Right.
They believed in marriage.
Right.
And they didn't have a lot of money, but back then the husband worked, he didn't make a lot, but the wife took care of the kids. As long as the wife took care of the kids, we didn't have a lot of these problems.
Yes.
But they brought in these problems through 1948 Act under Truman's administration, which gave us 8% of the pie. They brought in all of these new systems, put them in this pie that was designated to blacks, and they brought the women's liberation in there, and that was to get our women out of the house working, and they would bring foreigners in and put them into our communities.
James.
And that's why they have these businesses in black communities. This money was allocated specifically to black people, but they gave it to Middle Eastern, Asian, and this is how they raised the nail shops and the convenience stores.
Wow.
And they had to have them in black neighborhoods.
Had to have them there, right?
Because that's where the money was allocated.
That's right. So what you're telling me is when they jumped the broom, technically they didn't have no marriage license.
They did not have no marriage license.
So my great-grandfather, my great-grandfather probably never had a marriage license, but he believed in the commitment that was made. This is going to be another good show about making a commitment in marriage. Forget about the paper that's filed down at the courthouse.
Is there a commitment? And the ring is not really important.
It's
not important.
There
was a company named De Beers who had a warehouse full of diamonds and couldn't get rid of them. And they hired a marketing company, and they came up with a diamond is a woman's best friend.
I remember that.
So that began to clear diamonds out, and every woman feels like they got to have a diamond, or you're not marrying her.
Right.
But that was not the essentials of marriage before.
That's gonna be enough. We that's another show. But man, that's just something to say. And like I said, I didn't want to keep you on here long. I just wanted to touch on this
topic.
My brother.
But
this is good. That's why I said I'm glad.
This is good.
We're gonna talk again and again and again and again. But I want to leave with this saying,
please.
Yeah, this is what I had wrote up, and I got so many responses on it. I says when taking or going on a trip, with or to the lake with 4 of them, bring 4 of us with you. That's just how I'm going to be rolling from now on. I mean, I like I said, I'm not prejudiced. I love everybody, but I done seen the movies. We done heard it happen, man. I ain't going by myself. If, I got a group of people that saying, come on, man, let's go. We going hunting or okay, hold on. I'm going to invite Dr. James. He going to go with me.
Exactly.
Let's see who else going to go, so we going to make sure we be all right.
I'm going to tell you another situation.
Yeah.
You're going to a meeting, a business meeting.
Yeah.
Go there with somebody. If you can't, go there with a recording. Tell them I'm bringing my recording, or I'm bringing my accountant or somebody who can record. Because you will be surprised what is set up against you going into a business meeting, a political meeting.
Right. You're right. So the families, they have hired some well-known attorneys, Ben Crump, and commissioned by the autopsy that they sent over to DC So, man, we just gonna pray for keep
Yes.
these families in prayer, man, about this
Yes.
situation with Nolan and the other young man too that happened. Now, like I said, this hurts, but we are trying to find out what happened. What can we do
Yes.
moving forward from this? We're not going to stay stuck on what happened, but now what we
Exactly.
going to do moving forward to Daniel and his family, because that's my motto when I work in safety. I don't want to know about. We're not going to be stuck on the accident that happened. How can we resolve this and make sure that it doesn't happen
Yes.
again?
Yes.
So
And we
that's
know that we have many white people that are good people,
oh
and
yeah,
we have
oh
all
yeah,
races of people, but we still need to use some discernment because
yeah,
amongst us are wolves in sheep clothing.
absolutely,
We need to be
absolutely.
careful.
Yeah, yeah. So it happens, even in our own backyard. We heard of another story. A young lady thought she was friended by her friends, and
Yes.
they took her and beat her, and
Wow.
so I don't know what it is, but we just got to pray and have discernment. And when we hear it, our inner man or our inner spirit says, "Don't go,
Don't
listen
go.
to it, right? Listen to
Don't
it.
go.
Don't
And,
go."
and, and I'm not knocking Mexico, but about a year or so ago, you remember there were all those people, blacks going to Mexico
Yeah,
and
when she
Dubai and having problems in both areas.
in both
So,
areas, right? Yeah, just got to be
yes,
careful when you
be
go.
very careful.
Yeah, Dr. James, man, thank you so much for joining in tonight, man. I
Yes.
appreciate you. And I appreciate you just coming on, man, and taking out the time of your busy day because you're a pastor. You got a church. Tell us about your church, man. Where's it at so the people will know?
Well, my church is called, it's King's Chapel Reserve in East Dallas. It's 3305 Delito Drive, East Dallas,
Okay,
chapel on the third floor. And
gotcha.
we're just excited. Great things are happening. It's growing. And we're just excited about reaching people. And I want to thank you. I want to thank Andrell Perry, my good
Yeah,
friend. And I want to thank you for
introducing me to
everything
you.
that
Yeah,
you do for the people, the community, and Embrace It broadcast. Thank you
yes,
so
sir.
much. Thank you for having me on. And I'm welcome and always excited about
Yeah,
coming on
man. I
again.
appreciate you. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for joining. All right.
All
Listen,
right,
we can
brother.
talk later, man. Go get some rest, brother.
All right, brother. God bless you.
All right, man. God bless. Yep. Man, thank you so much, Doc, for joining in. But that's good stuff. Like we said, there's a lot going on, and we just need to have discernment and listen to what's going on inside of us. And when we're talking about discernment, it's that little still soft voice that talks to us, right? That's that soft, still voice. All right, listen, I want to move quickly. Like I mentioned earlier, I was about to talk about this young lady that I met. So I go to VA, and I'm a veteran, and I tell you guys about that. So I went to get some blood work done, and the young lady that was drawing my blood, first of all, I was kind of like scary. I was like, oh my gosh, she's young. I hope she don't prick me too hard. But no, but she didn't. So Angelique was her name, and so I decided to just have a conversation so I could take my mind off of giving the blood, right? So we started talking, and she says, "Hey, listen, this is what I'm doing here, but I'm really trying to make it." I told her, I said, "Well, I work for the city of Dallas, and let me see what I can do." She said, "Our dad works there too." So, and so we began talking, and I've been showing her how to get to the network. And then one day she texts me, she says, "My computer, it crashed. My computer crashed and I can't do anything." So I know she was in school. She was trying to better herself. She's grinding, trying to do better with her career, but she had this problem, and so in 2026 and 2026, no computer means no online classes, no resume, no applications, no certifications. That's not a small obstacle. That's a locked door if you can't have that happening. No, so here's a mother of two. Got a 1-year old and a 3-year old. So I had a computer sitting right here. And this is just me, guys. This is just me. I'm a giver. All right. I'm a giver, and I've been a giver pretty much all my life. This is what I've been doing. But listen to this story. I just did a quick little chat with
And
her.
I came across this young lady at the VA when I was getting my blood work done. Say hello to Angelique. Listen,
Hello.
now Angelique is a young lady that's firing. Here's Anaja, her little baby girl, 1 year old. I'm just out here just trying to help her and bless her. So she was in need of some help, but she just wanted to say thank you to the whole community.
Thank you, Bracy Community, for everything. Podcast for everything. I'm a mother, herbalist, also Black women in IT. So shout out to all the Black women in IT that's transitioning.
That's right. Shout out to them. But listen, we are doing it in the community. So listen, I'm glad to be out here helping, and I can only do this. Why? Because of you supporting me. Don't forget to watch me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram as well. All right. So I'm going to get on here with this live. We're going to do it again tomorrow. So come on in and join it. But I'm out here Saturday just doing this. So enjoying it. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yes. Make sure you support the Bracy
Come on out and support it. All right, y'all. Later.
Yeah. So I got a chance to meet her, and that's a little daughter. Right. And so what I decided to do when she told me that she didn't have a computer, I just went ahead and I said, meet me at Starbucks. I'm going to give you my computer. And so I gave her mine. All right. So what it felt like handing over, not a loss, but an investment. And I told her, I said, I'm sowing into good soil. You know, you don't have to be rich to change somebody's trajectory. Sometimes the thing that they need is already in your house collecting dust, or, you know, you might be using it or not using it. But I know in the word of God, it says in Proverbs 3:27, said, don't withhold good from those whom is due when it is your power to act. So I did that. And here's the reason why I did it, because somebody did it for me when I started in college back in 2014. I needed a computer and I didn't have the money to get it. And I just called some friends of mine and they went ahead and got the computer for me. And I promised to pay them back. And I did, you know, I paid them back. So this is just what I do, you know, and I wanted to be a blessing to her. And immediately she signed on there and she went in there. And then I gave her 4 job leads at the city of Dallas and used me as a referral. And she went ahead. Now she's been working on that. She texts me and let me know I'm working on this and getting this together. And that just makes me feel good. I'm glad I was able to do that. That's just all I want to say, you know, about that too. So if you're able to help somebody, please do it. Help, because I believe it's better to give than to receive. If you understand. I was in Dominican Republic one time visiting, and riding down the street. I'm trying to remember where we were going. I can't remember where we were going. Costa, where were we going? I can't remember. But this lady was standing on the side of the road, and it was hot. It was just extremely hot outside. And so what I did was I think she had a sign for $1, and I stopped. We gave her $1, and then something inside of me said, "Here goes that inner voice," said, "No, give her more." And pulled around the corner. I said, "Wait right here. Let me get out." And I ran around the corner and I gave her $50. I said, look at it. So she would see what it was. It's not just $1. She was just so thankful. That's just who I am. Right. So my second story, and I'm going to, not keep you all on. I was a bus driver in Columbus, Ohio, and it was cold. Right. It was freezing this day. And I never forget, it was dark. And I believe this lady was coming out the shelter, because this is the stop where all the people from the shelter gets on. And so that's where they get on. Hey, Faith, thank you for joining in. So when it was so cold, it was like 12 below, it felt like, so as soon as she leaned her stroller back to lift it, to put it onto the bus, after I even lowered it, the stroller whole handle just cracked. And I think she had 2 babies or 1 baby in there or something like that. And it broke, and she went to the back of the bus, because she was trying to get her money out. And I just said, go ahead, have a seat. And something inside of me said, call her back up to the front and get her number. And I was like, what? Okay. So I called her up to the front and I said, hey, I'm not trying to be in your business or anything like that. Where are you going? She told me she was on her way to a job interview. I said, well, where are you going to be? And she said, it's downtown. And I knew it was right across the street from the headquarters for Central Ohio Transit Authority. So I told her, I said, when you're done with the interview, come across the street to 33 North High Street. And I said, I'll meet you there. And because I don't even think I got a number, but she came back up and I told her. So, when that happened, she went there. I got my break. I ran to Walmart, brought her a brand new stroller, and met her right there. I didn't even know how much strollers cost back then. So when I looked at the price, I was like, whoa, these things went up since I used to buy them. So I brought her a stroller, and she came across, and this was her. Yeah, she had 2 babies. I never forget this. She had 2 babies. And the people at my job, the higher ups, came down and they took pictures. And they was like, wow, Bracy, thank you for doing that. And it's just, like I said, just giving back to people in the community. These were her babies. I never stayed in touch with her after that. Maybe she's watching, maybe she's on social media, she might see it. And I'm sure the kids are big and grown now. But the young man standing on the left of me, he was from maintenance department. He came and he put the stroller together for her. But that's just who I am, and that's just what I did. And I'll never forget that. And she was so, so, so thankful, you know. So it's a saying that I put out a couple of weeks on social media, and I said, don't look down on a man unless you're admiring his shoes. So we never know what people are going through. You know, ministry does not always have to happen in the pulpit. And I try to tell, you know, my colleagues this at my church. Sometimes it can happen in the Walmart checkout line, all right, on a 15-minute break. You never know which passenger, which coworker, which stranger God put into your route of purpose. The ministry of proximity is what you really need to be working in. Good Samaritan, you know, being that person. And the Bible talked about the Good Samaritan. The Good Samaritan did a form of community. You know, right? He used what he had and what was right there, you know, and trying to get people help and together and giving people. So here's why these 2 halves of tonight's show belong together. We opened up about talking about 2 young people who were left behind by people around them. And we're closing talking about what it looks like to be a refuge to people left behind who might need something. Angelique, you know, and her family, and the mother on High Street. So Nolan, Daniel, you know, his family, every one of them is somebody's child. So the question tonight isn't it terrible what happened out there? The question is, who has God put in your route? That's the question tonight. So here's your homework this week, family. I like to always say homework, but here's what I'm needing you to do. Thank you so much for all you do and watch and share and support. Here's what I'm asking you to do. This is your homework. Pray for the Wells and Irving family by their name, and for the truth and transparency in both investigations to come out. All right. Talk to a young person in your own life about the company that they keep and about the water safety in the summertime. Just talk to them, because if you don't talk to them, they don't know. They really don't know. They say they know. They think they know, but they don't. Give one thing this week. I'm asking you to give one thing this week, not money necessarily, not a laptop in the closet. What about a ride, an hour, something? Somebody always you already something gave you something that they gave you, and you got the power to give, you know. So drop on your own giving back stories in the comments. Let me know what you've been doing. Tell me how you've been helping people in the community. Tell me what you have done. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Tell me what you have done to help somebody, because it's not always about receiving what you can get. It's about who you can bless. So if this episode has blessed you, share it, like it, subscribe. Join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central. Okay. I'm here every week, unless, you know, something's happening, traveling or anything like that. You'll see a replay. But I thank you, and I appreciate your support. You know, the people that do tune in and that watch, you know, I appreciate what you do and how you support this ministry in every day. So until the next time here, embrace the truth, okay? Embrace the truth. Embrace each other. And remember, I love you only because I love myself first. So that's what this is all about, right? Walk good, people, as they say. Continue to keep praying for this world and your family, your children, everyone that's out there. Here's my song. You know, I like this.
God is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He gently leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness, for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I won't fear, I will trust. He is always walking with me. Even in the valley, I know I'm not alone. No, nothing is lacking. Nothing is lacking when He's in control. My faith is standing firm in the God who takes care of me. Yeah. You prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. I'm living this. Goodness finds me, mercy follows me every day, all the time. I know He's protecting me. If I fall, He lifts me. If I cry, He holds me close. When fear tries to come in, His peace reaches my soul. Oh, His presence is my home. Nothing is lacking. Nothing is lacking when He leads my steps. I am kept, I am guarded, I am cared for by the God of the impossible. Nothing is lacking. Nothing is lacking. My soul sings out loud. I will trust, I will rest in the Lord who is my Father. Goodness and mercy will follow me all my